An apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
So I've never had an unfriendly reporter.
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them?
Unbelievable.
Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Karen ain't Sharon.
It's available.
Yeah.
All of this can be found at URL.
Right? Still right?
I've said it many times before.
What's a still right?
We're the only country on earth founded on an idea.
Oh,
Every
please.
other country is founded on geography, religion, ethnicity, or some other unifying factor. But America was built on an idea, literally, not figuratively.
To get away from the religion of friggin'
all women and men are created equal.
the king.
The idea
Fool.
that has inspired the world for 250 years and counting.
Wait.
We're always reaching to do better. Always looking to the future.
Busy.
Not our best. Always seeking progress for our people and for people everywhere. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president.
Yeah, and line your
Today,
pocket.
I'm optimistic about our future, as optimistic as I've ever been. We just have to remember who the hell we are.
Yeah, we're grifters. Get my word as a
States of
Biden.
America, for God's sake.
There ain't nothing we can't do.
Nothing beyond our capacity. Do it together and commit to it. Nothing. So thank you all for all you've done.
Angry Joe.
I hope many of you are going to be staying
No.
in the next administration to keep this moving. May God bless you all. And may God protect our troops. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, where do I go?
All right, so there we have it. Joe Biden.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
What?
Got himself in the wrong place? And maybe it's me, but every place is kind of the wrong place when it's on fire!
You wouldn't want them so bad. You stay on this, Brenda, or I'll fix you as well. Rubbish. You have no politics. Be gone before somebody drops the house on you. Very well. Down there already.
Whoa. Put on the brakes. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's News to Us. And you are watching.
Who are we? Where are we?
Yeah, who are we? Where are we? You're watching It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news. Watch us new. Here now, brown cow, as the locals say. And, well, we only got 5 more days to use these props. I'll have to come up with some Trumpster ones. Senile
Why don't you-
agitation?
Why don't you show him invading Greenland?
Yeah. Our native Greenland. Yes. Yes, Swamp Viking would be very happy there.
Oh.
And all hail the cadaver in chief, man. He's getting worse and worse. Philo was nice enough to put in a couple of clips, but we had some of them were just too long. Whereas he's been having press conferences night and day. It's getting delusional. I could have beat Trump. Kamala could have beat Trump. Everybody could have beat Trump. Yeah, well, not quite, because Trump had a message: peace and prosperity, not wars and austerity. And all he had to do was say, he came in and said, look, if you guys don't get those hostages back from Hamas, you Hamas holes, out of the Gaza Strip, there's going to be hell to pay. And they know what hell to pay means. And all the network news today, they were saying, oh, it's a peace deal. And it's Biden's peace deal. It's like, no, Biden might still be there for 5 days, but it's it's Trump's. Cocaine tooth drops, yep, that's brought to you by cocaine, yep. In the 1970s, they said it was not habit forming. Boy, were they wrong.
Non-addicting, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And we cater to, we're all inclusive here at NEK-TV. We cater to men, women. It's news to us, not NEK-TV. And in the booth, too, we have Philo T. Farnsworth. You can see him waving with his little horns from hell. We keep the door locked and slide a pizza in there every now and then under the door. You can see his videos on YouTube at Terry DeFazio. He does drum videos, man. He's the Rolls Royce of drummers, the College of Musical Knowledge. Oh, I got one more left here. You know what? Because like Sarah Huckabee Sanders said, this isn't a difference between right and left. This is a difference between normal and crazy. And she said that at the State of the Union speech a couple years ago. And see, fortunately, we won't have to see freaks like this anymore.
Well, hopefully we'll see a whole lot less.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the circus left town, people. Come on. You want to be the bearded lady? Great.
Go find a circus.
It's crazy, man. Luggage thief. It's just, speaking of which, another thing, too. We're spending billions. This report just came out. And you think I could find a link to it, Philo? They did an article. This one's from the Boston Herald. They did an article in the Herald on it. On the Boston Globe, on the TV news, but were there any links to the report itself? No. And I would ask for the report and in different ways, and I could still not get it. But anyways, heartbreaking stories behind shelter walls. This is from Massachusetts. The shelters there are full of Haitians. And these people get temporary protected status, TPS. Thanks, Philo. And it's Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. If you're from those four countries, you get temporary protected status. You get shown right in, man. And it's funny because these are all friggin' Haiti is a failed state, but the other three are failed communist states, Philo.
Yep.
What's up with that?
Well, you can't find a good commie around anymore.
Yeah. Well, you can't find a commie who believes in communism anymore. So anyways, they've spent billions in Massachusetts, and it's crazy. All right, I'll go through this for you. Sifting through the thousands of pages of serious incident reports from the Bay State's Migrant Family Shelters program is a brutal read. They're not migrating. It's not like they're Canadian geese and they come up here for the summer and then go back to Haiti in the winter. No. And they're not undocumented. It's like, oh my. Terry, did you get my papers off the table before we left?
What papers was that?
My documents.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Did you get the documents off the table? Oh, I forgot them. We'll have to just enter this country with no passport ID, and we'll be undocumented.
You don't even get on an airplane without a passport now.
Yeah, if you're Caucasian, it's crazy. That's why I got one of those enhanced licenses this time.
Mac should have had one too.
Yeah, poor Mac.
Hey, Mac had a good life. And we fawned all over him, and we had him scratching, and we played with him. He had a good life with us.
That dog loved everybody except for Mayor Mamey. He did not like the mayor of Newport. Tried to bite him a couple times.
And you know what? Salty's little dog was the only one she ever growled at was Kevin's wife.
Yeah.
Go figure. I mean, I could think of other people.
Yeah, Wendy, that little mutt. Yeah. Anyways, these are pictures of stuff that they got out of one, the drugs and weapons seized at a Migrante hotel bus at the Revere police station. So, in case you missed it the first time, he's got an AR-15, the weapon that liberals love to hate. Some extra clips, ammunition, freaking bales of fentanyl, and you name it, he's got it here.
Well,
a scale.
He's good and thorough, isn't he?
Yeah. 3 extended magazines, pile of cash. He's got 1, 2, oh no, that's a phone. He's got 2 scales. And, it's just nuts. Anyways, let's dig right into the meat, shall we? The huge trove of documents, which you can't find, apparently, which the Herald received through a public records request, because, let's face it, they didn't want to release it. You know, if it's bad news, we don't want to release it, unless it's bad news for Whitey. Let's see. Detail heartbreaking and disturbing stories involving the state-funded emergency housing shelter system. Let's see. A report on this massive batch of reports from the Mass Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. I'll have to try that. It's like the mayor of Los Angeles that they gave her at a press conference. They gave her a statement. She's reading off this statement, and they forgot to put in the website. So it says URL, like, you're supposed to add website here. And she's such a dummy. She come right out and says, yeah, if you have any questions, go to URL. I mean, she didn't even have the brains to say, go to www and ask one of her staff members, hey, who didn't put in the website? What's the website? We're stopping this press conference till we get these people a website. No. These people are dummies, and I don't care what color their skin is. It don't matter to me. A dummy, be a dummy, be a dummy. And this woman's a dummy. And she was a U.S. congressperson, Philo.
Well, that sums it up.
Before she was mayor, yeah. I mean, she's the only one dumber than her is Maxine Waters.
I don't know. I think there's a few moonbats out there.
Yeah, moonbats! Speaking of which, you seen those commercials on TV for the stuff they put on there for bags under your eyes?
Yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
Oh, it's classic. They got some friggin' ugly moonbats, and it's like before and after. It's like, which is which, man? Where do you get these moonbats? And it's like, hey, honey, you're 60, 70 years old. Roll with it, Unless you're willing to get your face stretched. Like Leslie Stahl, I saw a clip of her on 60 Minutes last week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, she's got Michael Jackson nose, Philo.
Yep.
It's bad, man. It's like they all go to the same friggin' plastic surgeon.
Liberace had so many plastic surgeries, he couldn't even close his eyes to sleep. No joke. He
Boy,
couldn't-
that sucks.
And Joan Rivers was that close also.
Yeah. I got a buddy in Massachusetts, and she had some eye surgery. It wasn't for vanity. It was, a medically necessary surgery. And she has trouble shutting her eyes at night. These troubling reports from the last few years come as Governor Maura Healey deals with the fallout from a big drug and fentanyl bust at a Revere Migrante hotel. Yeah, Maura Healey, otherwise known as Hold It Healey, because that's what she told people to do, Philo. If the women don't like men in their restrooms, because with the Batwanger thing, they let every swinging Dick and Jane into the women's room now.
Yeah.
They said, well, Governor, what are these women supposed to do? These women and girls, if there's a man in the women's bathroom. She says, well, if you don't like it, hold it. Just hold it. So her name became forever changed to Hold It Healey. Let's see. Here's some more serious under reports and part of the special, part 2 of the special report. A mother OD'd while 3 of her kids were in the other room. A small child answered the door and staff asked is everything all right. Despite the kids saying it was okay, the staff were able to see visible water on the rug. The kid told the staff members their mother was in the bathroom, they should come back later. There were 3 kids in the room and staff refused to leave. When they entered the bathroom, the water was running, the tub was overflowing, and Mommy, dearest, was nude in the tub. Their attempt to communicate with her was unsuccessful. A 911 call was made when she appeared unresponsive. Police arrived and remained in the room with staff for about 30 minutes. As soon as they were able to speak with the mom, it became apparent she was under the influence of some kind of substance. As she struggled to speak, she was barely able to walk and tried to throw people out of her room. She was arrested and brought to the hospital. The kids were placed in temporary care of their uncle. Here's another one. Daughters possibly being trafficked. A mother was visibly distraught and sobbing, telling staff that her daughters were being picked up in a blue SUV by several adult Haitian males. At least on 2 occasions, the girls were gone for 3 to 4 nights. Unbelievable. This is culturally acceptable, Philo.
Well, it is for some people.
Yeah, well, it's unacceptable in this country. Get them the hell out of here. They don't belong here.
No.
They're not working. They're sucking down three meals a day. And there's my Mackie right there. Mac and Spike.
I've still got the video I made of Mac,
Oh, we got to dig it out, man.
I play it. It's a filler. It's like a 50-second filler.
Huh.
Yeah. I use a background of cat scratch fever because I call it Mac scratch fever.
We'll have to stick it in next week's show, maybe.
I can do that. I
If
got it
it's
sitting
not-
on my server.
If it's not friggin' 30 below, like it's supposed to be. Anyways, the months. Yeah, okay. The children, let's see. When the staff went to the hotel room to speak with the daughters, one of them said that if she has to live with her mother, she said she'd rather be back in Haiti. Another one, child neglected, large knife on the floor as the mother slept. When the staff went to the room, the kid opened the door and their mother, who had a baby 10 days ago, so she's got an anchor baby. That's another thing that's got to stop. This birthright citizenship, no. Other countries don't have it. Other countries, you have to be a citizen to have citizen children. No, this has got to stop, and it should go to the Supreme Court. They keep railing on about, the 14th Amendment says, yeah, if you're born here, you're a citizen. Well, look at the 14th Amendment. It was written for slaves. It was written for slave times, man, so that slaves would become citizens. Because hey, they were drugged here and lived here and worked here. It's not like they just blew in from another country and set foot in a no-tell motel and pumped out a kid. Let's see. Is another one. Yeah, let's see. Oh, the children were in the room. On the floor was a huge knife and a gallon of milk. There were dirty dishes on the stove, counter, and sink. The fridge was wide open also. Of course the fridge is wide open. They're not paying electric bills. You know, what the hell? They don't have any refrigeration in Haiti. Come on, man. It's nuts. Man dies from an overdose. A man's girlfriend went to the front desk saying she was concerned because her boyfriend missed an appointment and he wasn't returning calls. Staff did a wellness check, found the man naked on the floor near the bathroom, unresponsive, and cold to the touch. Well, that's what they call a self-correcting problem. Police and EMS arrived, pronounced him dead due to an OD. The warning signs, such as his children, had been removed due to substance abuse issues. Female raped. Around 3 a.m., she heard several loud knocks on her apartment door. As she proceeded to open the door, the person forced himself into her apartment and raped her. Here we are. Multiple people tried to commit suicide. A neighbor reported that a resident attempted to take his own life by hanging himself from the ceiling on the third-floor porch. He also threatened to jump. When the neighbor called 911, the police arrived immediately and talked him off the porch. The ambulance brought him to the hospital. Another report reads, the client began to inform staff that people in the shelter were making fun of her, making her feel uncomfortable, calling her names. She was being made fun of because she's a single mom, considered a prostitute for not being married. She began to cry and said, I did something really bad. The staff asked if she could share what she'd done. The client stated that she had taken medication to end her life. Ooh, the Brady Bunch. And she also reported feeling hopeless and like she had no other options. She was admitted to the hospital for further evaluation. In July, the Herald reported more than 300 serious incidents and recorded in the program since 2024. The Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities had listed a total of 316 serious incident reports at hotels, congregate sites, scattered sites, and co-shelters in the Family Shelter Program. The Herald obtained through a public records request because the state withheld the detailed records under privacy. The Herald appealed that would the state and EOLC agreed to provide the records with redactions. Well, why not? Hey, it's already cost Massachusetts like $1.5 billion, and it's crazy. And the meter's running. The meter's still running. There's Spiky. That dog, he used to sprinkle everything, Philo. Mac was pretty good about that stuff, but Spike, man, he just couldn't help himself. He'd be looking right at you, and he'd lift up his leg, and he didn't give a crap. There he is, right there. He was a good boy, man.
I never got to know Spike all that well, but Mac was funny. He was hilarious.
Mac was something else. Mac, from the day he was born, he never left my side, and he just wouldn't leave my side. Okay, what else we got here?
And as soon as your show was over, he'd start barking.
Yeah, it's like somehow he knew when we were getting near the end. He knew exactly when an hour was up. Here's a good one. I don't know if we got this one before. Secret Service fired 6 close-range shots at Ryan Ruth at Trump's golf course and missed them all.
Yeah, you've mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, special agent who may have been as close as 5 feet away from Ruth immediately responded by firing shots toward the suspect. Well, I guess that's, I'll bet he's one of these, he or she or it, was probably one of these diversity hires, Philo.
Well, it sounds like how bad my aim is when it comes to guns. I haven't shot in so long.
You know, in the old days, they used to make you qualify at the range, you know?
They do with the guards up here in the prison.
Yeah.
They have to qualify.
Yeah. Well, I bet you they don't anymore. There's old Maxter. You know, it's funny. The older he got, his face went friggin' completely white.
I know.
It was weird as crap, man. Yeah, we I got busted growing weed outside in Massachusetts in 1991. So I figured, well, I gave my seed stock to my buddy Petey, and I didn't grow. I grew a little bit when I lived in Pennsylvania, but just, nothing like this. I grew some for my wife and some couple of close friends and stuff like that. And then I moved up here, and my wife wanted some weed. I could take or leave the stuff. So I started growing it in an upstairs closet, right, Philo, in the winter?
Okay.
Yeah, just for personal. And then I said, well, what the hell? The lights, next thing you know, crazy Bernie, he wanted some, this and that, and and they were smoking the stuff faster than I could grow it.
Oh, it's not addicting.
No, hell no. Well, it was better that than seeing my wife taking those stupid friggin' Neurotins and stuff.
Oh gosh, I know.
Yeah, she'd sit there and wind up drooling on yourself. So next thing you know, I had this spare bedroom, and luckily I'd had the electricians wired up for a home office, and then I had my buddy Kevin came up. I got to do a memorial to old Kevin. Todd said he'd cut me some time, and anyways, and maybe we'll put it up to YouTube so his daughters can see it. But Kevin, and so Kevin wired the back bedroom for 220, and the race was on, and then I decided that it's been 20 years, Philo. It's been 20 years. So in 2011, I decided to start growing outdoors again. And Dog Boy had his spots, and I had my areas, so off we went. But my buddy Kevin, I got to do a tribute to him. We were roommates when we got out of high school, Philo.
Yeah.
And first we had an apartment near Fitchburg State College. Girls everywhere, and parties all the time. And then we had another apartment at Leominster Gardens. Anyways, but Kevin used to take me along for these deals, because it looked better when you had like two people in the car, like you were out clubbing and stuff like that, Philo.
Yep.
So that's how he'd take me down to the Worcester. He had this dealer in Worcester, guy he had some Jewish name, and he would go over, and he had bales of this Jamaican weed, and the only way we could get it uncompressed was when we took it home. We'd put plastic on the floor, Philo, in the kitchen, and we'd take a steam iron and run a steam iron over the weed, and the bales would like open right up, like a flower. So anyways, Kevin would drop me off at the bar, and he gave me a $20 bill, and he'd say, look, I'll be back in like an hour or so, and make sure you're here when I get back. All right. So drops me off at this club, and it was like it was bigger than a neighborhood bar, but it wasn't a real big nightclub kind of thing, right? So a $20 bill back then was like a 50 now, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I go up there, he drops me off, I go in, and they're all like, it's a $7 cover charge. I'm all, what? And yeah, they said, it's a redheaded girl, plays a Stratocaster. And he said, she's a good act, you'll like her. So I paid him the cover charge, and that left me, I don't know, like $12-13 to drink draft beer with, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm drinking, and you know who it was, Philo?
Who was it?
It was Bonnie Raitt.
Oh, no kidding.
This was 1975, right?
Yeah.
74, 75.
Now, folks, remember, we're old.
Yeah.
I said to somebody the other day, I said, what year was, I told somebody about a certain year, 1975, and they said, oh, that was like 30 years ago. I said, no. 1995 was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, folks, you're looking at a couple of old guys here.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we get the shit. When we started this show, man, I had teeth and Philo had hair.
Not anymore.
Yeah, all gone now. So anyways, Kevin comes to pick me up, and he's all nervous. Probably did some coke with the guy or something. He's here, come on, we got to go. And I'm all like, Kevin, I said, look, this girl's, she's on break. You got to hear this redhead with the Stratocaster. She's just awesome. He's all like, no, we don't got time for it. Let's go. So that was it, man. That was my experience seeing Bonnie Raitt.
Huh.
I'll be damned if I can remember the name of the club.
Where was it?
It was somewhere. It was in Worcester, near one of the colleges.
Oh.
Maybe near Quinsigamon or something. It was north of the city. I remember that. Because we didn't have to go through the city to get home. Oh, man. Trump supporters. Oh, yeah, geez. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, the Ruth has been charged, blah, blah, blah. A radical Islamic terrorist drove his truck through a crowd of people in New Orleans. Yeah, we haven't heard about him much anymore. Well, he got wiped right off the friggin' news, didn't he?
Or the guy that shot the CEO, insurance CEO. Remember him?
Yeah, Mangione.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, they're on to the next slide. You realize COVID took up almost, what was it, a year or 2 or 3? It was all you ever heard about was COVID. And then all of a sudden the war in the Ukraine broke out. And I almost applauded saying, it's about time they moved off this.
Yeah.
You know? It took a friggin' war to move them off the virus.
Oh, well, it was, it was funny because they, Joe and Kamala, they said, we're not going to take that vaccine, mister. If Trump was the guy who came out with that vaccine, we're not going to take it. And then sure enough, man, as soon as they got elected, it's all like, hey, let me roll up my sleeve so I can get an injection.
And how many people every night on the news did you see getting the shot, getting the shot, getting the shot? It's like,
or the death toll every night, remember?
If this isn't propaganda, I don't know what is.
Yep, they'd have like the friggin' death toll every night.
And
then this many people had the outbreaks. They went by county and by towns. It was crazy. They did that up here in Vermont too.
And then they had all the gurneys with all the dead people, but there was no people on them.
Yeah. Empty refrigerated trucks.
Yep.
It was just, what a scam, man.
Yep, it was.
Shamshu Din Jabbar plowed through the crowd in his F-150. He had recently converted to Islam. Oh, sure. How recent would that be? Like 30 years ago? Unfortunately, under the leadership of Christopher Wray, the FBI was too busy doing things like helping orchestrate a kidnapping plot targeting Michigan Governor Kristen Whitmer to catch a terrorist. Here are some others the FBI was too busy targeting while terrorists become radicalized on U.S. soil. 1. Catholics. Documents obtained by the House Republicans in 23 reveals multiple FBI field offices were involved in the drafting of the infamous memo that labeled Catholics as potential domestic terrorists.
Well, you gotta know.
Yeah. Well, it's only because people drink wine in church, damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sure. Oh, let's see. A leak, Richmond, Virginia field office was investigating white supremacy amongst Catholics who attended Latin Mass.
You know how many of them are left? People my age.
Yeah.
Old people.
The memo warned of radical traditionalist Catholics and noted possible infiltration into Catholic communities using various kinds of informants. Okay, next, Trump supporters. Jabbar recently began radicalizing in recent months, but the FBI would have caught on because they were singling out Trump supporters. Nearly 2/3 of the FBI's current investigations focused on Trump supporters accused of disregarding anti-riot laws. After Jan 6, the FBA expanded it into anti-government or anti-authority violent extremist other category, AGAAVE, to jumpstart investigations into Americans based on their political and affiliations. Okay. Let's see. Parents at school board meetings. Remember them?
Oh yeah, some of them were pretty upset.
Yeah, because they had batwangers going into girls' showers and into girls' bathrooms, and one of them even sexually assaulted this guy's daughter. And remember, the sheriff tackled him and removed him.
Yep, I know. And oh yeah, and boys and girls sports. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna look back on this fondly. I'm telling you.
Oh, not very fondly for me. I think it's pretty disgusting, but
yeah.
you
Well,
can't
we
tell them-
almost came off the rails, man. I'm thinking,
the Democrats still haven't figured out why they lost.
yeah.
They're still trying to blame propaganda and misinformation and this and this and this and this. And they just, all you gotta do is look in the mirror.
Yeah, it's crazy. You call me a cockeyed optimist, but I think that, I think with Trump and these people that they, if we could cut the size of government in half, just bring it back to pre-pandemic levels, Philo.
Yeah, well,
We'd be okay.
We can't do that. We gotta invade Canada and then Greenland.
Okay, after that then. Let's see.
Canada.
Yeah, you big maple dummies. Let's see. Attorney General Merrick Garland encouraged the use of an FBI tip line to flag parents for surveillance. Tiffany Justice, a co-founder of Moms for Liberty, told Federalists a mother was reported to the FBI for being quite upset at a school board meeting when speaking about the adverse effects of quarantines on school closures. Another bit, pro-lifers. FBI targeted 55 pro-lifers for praying, singing, and evangelizing at abortion facilities across the U.S.
Oh boy, that's real bad.
By law, they can't get within, I don't know, 50 feet or something?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, 75-year-old Paulette Harlow was charged and found guilty. She was sentenced to 2 years in jail. FBI has long smeared pro-lifers as threats, with whistleblower Steve Friend revealing in an interview that Tennessee Informer that the FBI showed agents a video produced by the far-left Southern Poverty Law Center that, according to Friend, ranked people who oppose abortion, pro-life activists, as a greater threat than Islamists.
Oh boy.
These Islamists, man, I'm telling you, they're like the Amish, only they want to kill you.
Yeah, they're on crack.
Yeah, they're on crack. They use explosives.
Speaking of the Amish, did you see what they did in North Carolina? They put up 12 houses in like a week for the people in North Carolina.
Well, yeah, they on America's Voice channel, they had what was his name? Ben Berkwan. He was down there reporting all through Appalachia about the people. They've been totally neglected. It's like, they're off the news cycle. That's it. They're, no problem. Go away. But it seems the only help they've been getting is from locals and, stuff like that.
Yeah, the Amish put up like 12 homes in about a week or so. These tiny homes. And
Yeah.
I guess in the spring, they're going to go back and build more.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, they came right out. Merrick Garland came out and said that, not Merrick Garland, it was somebody from the administration. They came out and said that, it's Mayorkas. He came right out and said that they didn't have FEMA didn't have any money because they'd spent it all on housing for the illegal immigrants.
Nice.
Yeah,
Now,
they gave it to the cities for housing, because the cities were howling bloody murder. Yeah, let's see.
We are not here to help our people. We're here to give it to everybody else.
If the 71-year-old Rebecca Lorenz, convicted on 4 counts after she entered the Capitol on January 6th for 10 minutes, having briefly spoken to at least one Capitol cop prior to exiting. Facts, the FBI showed up at her home on April 19th, 21. Returning the following week for an interview, she was sentenced to 1-year probation. Let's see, Trump supporters and Catholics are off the streets. Let's see, what else have we got here? We got some more stuff, too. Oh, yeah, the HB1 visa thing I was telling you about, Philo, right?
Yes.
There's 386,000 of them in 2023. The average pay is 118 grand a year, and only 189,000 of the 386,000 were high-tech workers. In 2022, there were 442,000 of them, and then they get the green cards and their relatives, and what was his name? Vivek Ramaswamy and Musk said that Americans were too retarded and lazy. According to the USCIS numbers, these HB1 people average 70,000 a year less than USA workers to come in and work for their sociopathic overlords. They have a labor condition. They have to fill out a labor condition application, not the companies, but the workers. And the companies don't have to do any searches for USA workers. Then they have an HB1 lottery. There's another one. I didn't write down the website for this one, but you might want to look this up. It's called the Institute for Sound Public Policy. It's probably .org or .com, obviously. The Institute for Sound Public Policy. And in most of the instances, the USA employees trained their replacements. 75% of them were from India. And they worked for 3 years. They can't complain, they can't bitch, they can't do squat, or the employers can bounce them back to India. And then after 3 years, they work for 3 years more, and then the employer applies for a green card. Lovely. But the companies don't have to show that they can't get them or whatever. Oh, yeah. The special agent in charge, after that wacko ran over all those people in New Orleans, bang, that black woman who was the special agent in charge, another diversity hire, she came right out and she said at 6 a.m. that there was not a terrorist incident. It's like, not a terrorist incident. The guy's yelling Allahu Akbar, he's running people over, he's shooting it out with cops, and it's not a terrorist incident, Philo. Okay then. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Oh, let's see. According to the Durham report, no rules, laws, or executive orders were followed, and there were no remedies. The National Security Council, this was under Trump. Trump would sign an executive order, and all these people in the deep state file, they'd be all like, they wouldn't openly defy him. What they do is they, like government bureaucrats everywhere, they just say, we'll get right on that. And that's the last you hear of it. And let's see. Over 200 plus were embedded into the National Security Council, the National Security Council, that's another thing, Philo. I don't know if you could look that up for me.
What are you looking for, Steve?
The origins of the National Security Council. I think Harry Truman started it.
The National Security Council, okay. Hold on. I'm going to shut my mic off.
Okay. Yeah, 200 plus were embedded. Let's see. Many from the CIA. What they have to do is they have to issue not report for duties orders on January 20th and tell them to return home to their home agencies.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
The Truman administration, the National Security Council was created by Public Law 80
Huh.
and approved in July 26, 1947.
And I'll bet, dude, I think there was only a handful of people on the National Security Council. It was just a handful, and they've grown to well over 200 plus today.
Yep, there you have it.
It just, thanks, Philo.
Yep.
It just grows and grows and grows, and they, and they put down roots and anchors, and you can't get their butts out of there. Yeah, but hopefully we'll get Trump will get in there and force them out. There's a way to force them out. We have to cut the size of government. Let's see. We invade the world, and then we invite the world back into the United States. Never fails. Starting with a boat, or starting with the displaced people from Europe. But that was the last time we admitted any Caucasians. And then it was the boat people. And then they were crazy enough to bring over people from the Mideast. According to the Federal Register, new exemptions to the H-1B law, according to Democratic reforms, they're trying to change the Federal Register on January 17th of this year to H-2B visa, unskilled visa, reducing barriers to legal immigration. Look, we've got 20 million people they let in the past 4 years. They can't read or write English. They can't speak English. They give them cars they should not be driving. They're running people off the roads. They're getting into... I watch these cop shows, Philo, on Friday and Saturday nights, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They pull these people over, and they have to try and get a translating device on their cell phones. The cops do. And half the time they can't talk to them. And their national security threats, their health threats, and they're still claiming to get asylum. And if they're denied, they get a complete new review, and they're getting coached by the ACLU to weasel through the rules. And remember, there are no facts to support the H-1B program. You know, they keep talking about the geniuses. We want geniuses from all over the world to come here, Philo.
Yeah.
Well, they have a genius program. It's below H-1B. It's H-0B, Philo. You notice they never mention that? Nobody mentions that?
Nope.
It's the H-0B is the genius program. We have to come up with a Dignity Act. No more slave labor. That's it. Yeah.
Well, the Bible says that's okay.
Yeah. Did you know that Amazon cut out the Potterville scene out of that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, Philo?
Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah, where he comes back and he sees all his town is turned into cheap motels and strip joints and stuff like that.
Yeah, Pottersville, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Amazon just cut that from the movie. It's like, what the hell, man?
I don't understand.
Yeah, people were complaining about it because, I mean, it goes right to the heart of the movie, like, what happens when you have totally unrestricted capitalism and no zoning. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's what happened in New York City for many years.
Yeah, Times Square, man. Oh, man.
Yes, I remember.
Remember the Port Authority?
Yep.
Wow. I stuck my head out from the Port Authority one time in 1979 or something.
If you want to see a funny video, it's a very cynical look at New York City in the early 80s. It came out in 1983. It's a video. The song is called Don't Nobody Move, This Is a Heist. You will laugh your butt off. Absolutely hilarious, but it's so accurate as to how New York City was then.
God, I should write that down for me.
I'll send you a link, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just send you the
make
link.
yourself a note so you don't forget now.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, just last week, too, you didn't hear about this on the news except for 5 minutes, and then it disappeared. China cut the cable to Taiwan. And it's crazy. And China has back doors to all of our cell phone communications. They are lying in wait. If they speculate that if and when the time comes that China was in unrestricted warfare with us, Philo,
Yep.
they could instantly shut down all our sewer plants and water plants and everything else, all our municipal stuff, just shut it right down because they've already infiltrated all of our cell phones. You know why? Because our CIA demanded a backdoor to every program written. And they've been doing it since the 1980s with software. They said, you got to give us a backdoor. No matter what program it is, we don't care. We want a backdoor. Well, you know what? The backdoor not only works for the CIA, the backdoor works for friggin' China, too. So they can shut down everything. It could be friggin' crazy. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. And that Chinese spy balloon, the one that Biden said it wasn't really there until the guy in, what was it, Minnesota, finally Montana saw it? That stupid Chinese spy balloon. It turns out the Chinese spy balloon was using a U.S. ISP, Internet Service Protocol. It was using a U.S. ISP to communicate, and the Biden administration knew about it. You know, remember, I don't know, for those of you who watch this show regularly, when this bonehead got elected or selected, whatever you want to call it, I posited the question to the audience: if you were going to sell out your country to a foreign power, how much would you need to take? You know? Remember that? I asked that question because that is what the Bidens have done, man. It's crazy. They sold out this country to China and a bunch of other friggin' third world countries. It's nuts. Oh, speaking of which, speaking of nuts, that moonbat Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, she said she was going to have to take extraordinary measures with her modern monetary theory. You know, if things didn't go her way or something, she was talking about using these extraordinary measures on January 13th. Well, we're already on the 15th, and we haven't heard anything from Treasury yet, so I don't think they're going to. Maybe they're going to. It's a trap. It's a booby trap for Trump.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Look out, Akbar.
And Rachel Maddow has agreed to come back every night for something like 2 months, Philo. Did you hear about that?
What is she coming back for?
Yeah, she's coming back to make fun of the Trump administration.
She should be talking. You know, MSNBC is one of the lowest ranked now.
I know, it's crazy. More people watch the fish tank at Pick and Shovel
You know who's
than
got the,
MSNBC.
you know who has the most viewership now?
No.
News Nation.
Huh. I was going to say OAN.
No, those guys. Sheesh.
They're out of San Diego.
Oh, by the way, Steve. Last but not least, give us a good story.
Right when we get to the dogs. Last but not least. Oh, yeah. All right. Last but not least, the windfall elimination program. I'll go over that next week. But one of my buddies, Swamp Viking, he used to come over to my house and watch TV. Would watch the NASA channel and did SpaceX launches and stuff like that. But anyways, whenever he came over, I would always bake stuff. You know, I had stuff baked for him. I'd either always give him a pie or something like that, you know. And he'd always say the same thing. He said, I don't want to eat up all your food. And you know what I used to always say to him, Philo?
What's that?
I always said, this is America. Food is cheap here, you know? Don't worry about it. Food is cheap here. Well, thanks to Joe and the last 4 years of insane inflation, that is no longer applicable. But hopefully, with the price of fuel going down in the next 6 or 8 months, that will be over with. But anyways, oh my God, I forgot my hat. Once again, you wasted an hour of your life, well, a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, as the Hebrews say, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque. Head east, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you. Worship the rock and the meteorite in Mecca and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar.
And a happy Deus Magnus Est to one and all.
An apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Oh, I've never had an unfriendly reporter.
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Karen ain't Sharon.
Is available. All of this can be found at URL.
What? Still
I've
right?
said it many times before.
What's a still right?
We're the only country on earth founded on idea.
Oh,
Every
please.
other country is founded on geography, religion, ethnicity, or some other unifying factor. But America was built on idea, literally, not figuratively.
To get away from the
That
religion
idea
of
was
frickin'
all women and men are created equal.
the king.
The idea
Fool.
that has inspired the world for 250 years and counting.
Wait.
We're always reaching to do better. Always looking to the future.
Busy.
Not our best. Always seeking progress for our people and for people everywhere. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president.
Yeah, and line your
Today,
pocket.
I'm optimistic about our future, as optimistic as I've ever been. We just have to remember who the hell we are.
Yeah, we're grifters. Give my word as a
States of
Biden.
America, for God's sake.
There ain't nothing we can't do.
Nothing beyond our capacity. Do it together and commit to it. Nothing. So thank you all for all you've done.
Angry Joe.
I hope many of you are going to be staying
No.
in the next administration to keep this moving. May God bless you all. And may God protect our troops. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, where do I go?
All right, so there we have it. Joe Biden.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
What?
Got himself in the wrong place? And maybe it's me, but every place is kind of the wrong place when it's on fire!
You wouldn't want them so bad. You stay on this, Brenda, or I'll fix you as well. Rubbish. You have no politics. Be gone before somebody drops the house on you.
It's down there already.
Get your